hope you're all well. If you are new around here, then hello, it is lovely to meet you. And if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana, I'm a 35-year-old lady living in Scotland, and that is where the accent is from. And on this channel, we predominantly talk about skincare, hair care, beauty, all that kind of bloggery, lifestyle kind of bullshit, but with a liberal sprinkling of sarcasm, cynicism, and truth thrown in on top. I also like the odd sweary word on this channel, so if you're not into that kind of thing, completely understand. Please feel free to vacate, but there's a subscription button in the corner if you like to listen to a good old bit of foul language. So this video is going to be an amalgamation of two videos. I'm filming two intros at once here, so I'm trying to remember. This video is going to be FENTY foundations. This is the Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation, and this is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. And I have one on one side and one on the other side. Which one? You'll have to watch the video to see. It could be this way round, it could be this way round. You don't know what side of my face is what, but it's also going to be a little bit of a wear test as well. So that's what this video is going to be, and if you're interested in seeing the differences and how both of these foundations work, then just keep on watching. Alright, so let's just get on with this. I have already primed my skin with the Fenty Hydro Visor because I felt that's probably a very fair idea of what's going to go on as a base. I feel like both of them have worked really well using that underneath it. And I also have the same brush to put on each foundation because I felt, again, that will give a fair test of what side is what. So let's just get into this. I am not going to go into the ins and outs of the Soft Matte Pro Filter or the Hydrating Pro Filter. I have spoke about them on this channel before, and I don't want to bore you too much with, well, this one's like this and this one's like this, because the truth is I spoke about them in great detail in other videos, and you can go check out those other videos for a more in-depth review. So on this side I have the Hydrating. I'm just going to take the brush. I shouldn't have squeezed this one out yet. Should have. I didn't really fucking think of that. And I'm just going to start putting on the Hydrating one. That was really stupid. Why did I do that? As I said, this was on my yearly favourites last year. It just sneaked in right at the end of the year because I only picked it up on Black Friday. I think I got it for £14, which was pretty good on Black Friday. And I do really enjoy it. I think it's a really nice foundation. The shades that I wear is 160. Yeah, I was going to say 060 there, and I thought, no, that's not right. 160 in both foundations, and they both work really well. I actually bought the Hydrating one online initially, and basically I think I ordered 120, and my god, it was like ghostly white in the bottle when it arrived. I was like, shit, it's never gonna work for me. So I'm just taking the Soft Matte off this hand now and going in on this side again. Same brush but different foundations. So yeah, I actually bought the Hydrating one in 120 because online I thought, I'm quite peely wally, that'll go. And when it arrived, it was like almost like the Kat Von D white foundation, and I was like, okay, I know I'm pale, but that's gonna be pretty damn pale on me. And luckily Boots actually swapped it no problem for, they shade matched me and they swapped it no problem for a shade that suited me. I would say this oxidizes, but ever so slightly, not terribly so. I'm saying this is the matte one, that's what I should say. I feel the matte one oxidizes a little more than the Hydrating one. Don't know why, but I just think it does. But I think both, just going like this now, give a decent coverage. I just feel like this side is a slightly darker. It is slightly darker, ever so slightly. Alright, so let's zoom in and see the skin. Alright, so we're up close and personal. I think you can see a colour difference, even though these are both 160, which is quite strange. But they're definitely both 160. Oh, I'm holding them the wrong way, sorry. This one is on this side, this one is on this side. They are both 160, but I would definitely say this one has oxidised. Definitely, I can see it in the camera, I can see it in real life, definitely. So I am looking a little odd. I'm going to go and put on the rest of my makeup. I think finish wise at the moment, this is definitely dewier. This is the Hydrating foundation, what can you say? But this side is not flat, and I have said that before about this matte foundation. I don't feel like it's matte and flat. That might just be because I've got a lovely base below it, but I have used other things below it as well, and I still don't feel it makes you feel totally matte and flat. It's a bit more skin perfecting than this side. You can see this one's really dewy, but both I'm really enjoying, if I'm honest with you. It just depends what I'm going for in the day. So I'm gonna go and put on the rest of my makeup. I am gonna put on a little bit of powder as well. So what I will do is I will check in with you once I've got all my other makeup on, and then we will check in for the rest of the day. Oh, I should have mentioned as well, it is 1 o'clock in the day right now, even though in this room it looks like it's about 5 o'clock at night, because Scotland in the autumn and winter. What can I do? But I do have studio lights on, so hopefully you're still getting a decent idea. But what I will do is, so 1 o'clock in the day, I will come back to you maybe in a couple of hours to let you know how the wear is going, and given that I will have powder on, we have to remember that. And I will also come back to you kind of end of the day and let you know how it's worn. Alright, so I've now put on a full face of Slap. What I am going to say is though, I used the Bye Bye Pores bronzer and the Bye Bye Pores blush first. So that's not the blush I've got on my face. I topped it with some Vive stuff. But I did use these, which I feel are really good for like mattifying. I didn't put on any powder in the end because I thought with them on, I didn't need that powder as well. I was going to put on Glossier powder, but I thought, no, let's not bother. So that is me, got my full face of Slap on. What I will say is both sides, products applied on top, no problem, very, very nicely. And at the moment, both of them, this one is definitely still more radiant. You can see here, there's a little bit more grease happening. That's okay, I don't mind that, I quite like that. But if you're not into that, or you're already got quite an oily skin, just be aware. And this here, I think is still nice and sheeny, but just a little bit more controlled. So, we are now at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, even though it looks fucking pitch black. I'm gonna go on and film a few more videos. I do have studio lights on, so we'll see how we go with that. And I will come back to you, and then I'll do one later on before I wash it all off tonight. Alright, so it is now 5:30 at night, so I'm coming to give you another update of each side of my face. Again, I think this side, the matte side, has stayed relatively good. Like, it's still got luminosity here, and that's what I said about this product. I think even though it's matte, it gives you a really nice luminosity to the skin. This is obviously a highlighter, ignore that. In other areas, I feel like my skin is still, I mean, this maybe, people would think this is too sweaty for me, not into this. That doesn't really bother me. On this side, it is a lot sweatier everywhere. And I haven't powdered, obviously. I didn't put powder on. Just show you at the top as well. A lot sweatier. A lot sweatier. Look, so much so that that bronzer is kind of going into those lines there. But I feel like this side is still that little bit more matte. This side is very dewy and glowy. I don't mind either of them. I think they're quite nice, but I'm just showing you. I'm going to do a quick close-up inspection. I don't actually think the wear and tear of either side of this is that bad. There's a little bit breaking up round about the nose here. I also feel like on my actual nose, there's a bit of wear and tear. Like you can see where I had a little spot last month. The redness there is coming through. That's probably because I've rubbed my nose. So on that side, that's kind of came away. But everywhere else, I think the actual wear of it is okay. It doesn't all of a sudden look like it's melting down my face. It doesn't look like it's filled in to all of my pores either. It stayed okay. So that's where I'm going to leave it now, and I will come to you before I go to bed. Hi, hello. So I'm coming in for a final check-in of the day, and as you can see, makeup is all kind of worn, but I'm going to zoom you in a second. I actually think both of these foundations have still stayed pretty damn impressive. Maybe you will think otherwise when you have a look at my skin close up. I'm just checking in the mirror there, but I had a really good inspection of everywhere on my face, and I have to say there's no obvious like areas where it is patched off my face. There's no obvious areas where it's totally broke down and there's nothing there. I feel like in this area here where I said I had that little blemish last week, that's kind of came off a little bit. Where I've touched my nose and stuff has came off a little bit, but the general overall coverage of both foundations on both sides has kept okay. I still think this one is a little shinier, a little greasier, and that is the hydrating side. I think this side has definitely got glowier throughout the day. You can kind of see it here. Oh, I should have said as well, it is literally 10 o'clock at night now. So I've had this on for 9-ish hours. Yeah, I put it on at 1 o'clock in the day and it is 10 o'clock at night now. It's actually 10:15, but let's not split hairs here. I'm going to zoom you in close up so you can see things better. Now you can see here where the mascara has had a bit of fall down. It's getting a bit kind of dark under these areas here, but the actual coverage of the foundation has stayed okay. Again, here's my bit of pigmentation I've got on this side, but it's not horrific. And I'm going to come right up here so you can see as well. A little bit of patching here. I don't know if I've been rubbing my head there at all, but honestly, like, see right in here, I'm hoping you can see that there's not any obvious areas where it's all came away because of oil. On this side, I think it's a little bit more. You can kind of just see it in there in the crook of my nose, and more on this side of my nose, to be honest with you, where I've touched and been doing things. This side seems to have stayed on a little bit better than that side. Over here though, like on the cheek, and like I said, this blemish down here, I've probably touched my chin quite a lot today, so it's kind of starting to break up here. But 9 hours, like, who wears foundation for much longer than that if you're going for a day at work? And if you were far away from me, you wouldn't be noticing these tiny little things. So the reason I've zoomed you out again is because, like I say, if you were further away from me and just talking to me on a day-to-day basis, you wouldn't look at me and instantly think, oh, your foundation has went totally tits up, has it? I'm going to turn the light up a little bit. It's difficult because it is 10 o'clock at night. It's now dark. There, we've just turned it up a little bit. I just feel like from far away, there's no obvious areas where this is all worn down. And as I said, if you're that close to me that you're able to see that my foundation is worn down slightly, you're too fucking close. Move back. My good friend Leslie and Audrey say that as well. They're like, if you can see that close to me, you're too close to me. At the end of the day, if I'm standing back from you talking to you and you don't know me, you shouldn't be in my personal space. This foundation, or these foundations, both wear really well. I am kind of impressed with them. I know watching this video, maybe you'll look at it and think, a little bit too dewy for me, not my cup of tea. And as a matte foundation, I still think this has got a lot of glow. Some people might like the powder around about here just to get rid of that little bit of glow, but personally I quite like it. So that's the end of the day, that's the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye.